Welcome to the Oasis State podcast. Cheers for tuning in. This podcast is dedicated to educating and empowering women to step into their self-love infused power. As a woman, there are so many nuances that influence our relationship with self. Join me as I share my personal experiences with and deep understanding of mindset development, energetics, and self-mastery. I will help you deconstruct societal conditioning and your own outdated beliefs through a lighthearted, playful lens of perception. I will introduce you to tools that will help you redefine your interaction with life, powerfully manifest your wildest dreams, and enjoy every step along the way. Let this podcast guide and support you as you make the commitment to remember your magic within. This is your self-empowerment pep talk. Hello, gorgeous soul, and welcome back to the Oasis State podcast. I'm your host, Zoe Rose Carey. Wow, we are up to episode 7. Amazing. As I mentioned probably at the start of every episode, I am just absolutely loving this process. It's really fun and creative for me. I hope anyone that needs to find this podcast has found it and it resonates with you and basically just helps you feel more in your power, just reminds you that you are in control and in this position of beautiful power all the time. Firstly, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to apologize for the sound quality of the previous episode. As I was going through and editing it, I realized there was kind of some background noise and I actually recorded the episode while I was tucked in bed. It's winter at the time that I recorded that episode and I just couldn't resist crawling into bed and having my laptop right beside me to record the episode. So yeah, I'm just figuring out this whole process as I go. And now I know if I'm going to record an episode in bed, I need to be a bit more mindful of background noise and static from the blankets and my movements. I just wanted to be real with you guys, and I wanted to apologize if that was at any point in the episode that was too hard to listen to. But I was kind of really flowing with the episode, so I just decided to release it anyway because I just didn't feel like me re-recording that episode would bring kind of the soul forward of the soul and the intention of that episode. As I mentioned, the previous episode was inspired by just having conversations with a few of my nearest and dearest in my trusted circle, and everyone kind of acknowledging the frequency and the intensity of quotation marks hard times right now. And I just wanted to, I created that episode because that's basically what I said and would say to anyone in my trusted circle, family, friends, clients. That's how I would help them approach their hard times and give them some tools to understand emotional overwhelm, because there's a difference between pain and suffering, because suffering is a choice. That last episode was inspired by, just a bit of a theme of people going through hard times. As I mentioned in the episode, we've gone through a lot in the last 2 years, and I just wanted to put that out there as a companion for anyone that needs a little pat on the back at the moment, if they are going through a harder time or a more dense time in their lives. So today's episode is all about what I love about the manifestation process. So not just the results, the actual process too. And I wanted to choose this topic for 2 reasons, which I will now explain. I wanted to add the next episode just on a more lighthearted, inspiring, uplifting topic. And on your self-mastery journey or self-empowerment journey, everything needs to be addressed. So in last episode, I addressed the hard times, but this time around, I wanted to focus on a more uplifting, exciting topic, because we've got to have the bandwidth of both, and experience the highs and the lows and appreciate and learn from both. So that's the first reason why I've decided to do episode 7 as focusing on and expressing gratitude and appreciation for the manifestation process, not just the results. And then the second reason I wanted to do this episode this week is because it's been inspired by a bit of self inquiry for myself or from myself this week. um, I'll just give you a quick kind of outline of what my life has been like in the last few weeks. I've been enjoying the humble beginnings of the starts of like some fresh chapters in many areas of my life, and I just have kind of been living life been very present, not looking too far ahead, just living my life moment to moment. And how I would describe that is I've just been enjoying this like high vibing plateau that comes from witnessing things that I've been calling in, witnessing them become a reality right in front of me. And there's a kind of self compassion um, part of just receiving and being present with your with humble beginnings, because it can be quite an energetic toll too. You might be physically quite tired or emotionally quite um, exhausted from the whole process of you consciously calling in these the desires, the goals, the fresh starts, and the chapters that you want to begin. So yeah, I've kind of just been riding those waves, just letting everything settle in, letting myself get into new routines, letting myself be open to new influences by fresh energy, fresh people in my life, and it's been really great. And then this week, I had a surge of energy and an inkling from the universe that it was time to start consciously and actively manifesting more desires into my life. Um, and yeah, so to me, the process of being present and consciously manifesting, sorry, I'll start that again. The process of being present with my current reality and actively manifesting are focuses that I dance between every day. And I feel that it's so important to dance between both. So, as I mentioned, I've had the last few weeks of just really living intentionally, slowing down, not zooming out and thinking about the bigger picture or where I'm going. I've just been really present and just letting the dust settle on kind of the end of a cycle. So, the end of the cycle, which was kind of indicated by the start of fresh chapters. Yeah, that makes sense. I've kind of like paused for a second, but hopefully you received that, because that's what I'm trying to say. um, yeah, so that process and that the focuses of being present and just kind of being grateful in the space of gratitude and witnessing your current reality. And then the focus of actively and consciously manifesting your desires and your future is a dance of focus between, yeah, that you need to dance between every day. It's so important to dance between both of them, because if we lean too far into the present moment, which is where all of our power is, it's all of our joy, all of our gratitude, and everything, if we stay there too long without zooming out and kind of focusing on where we're going, getting clarity on where we're going or making peace with where we've been as well, we may accidentally eject ourselves from the driver's seat of our lives, because the conscious manifestation process is basically self empowerment 101. It is constantly reminding yourself that you are in the driver's seat of your life and you absolutely have the power to create your reality. So if you kind of lean too far into the present moment without taking time out in your day to get clarity on your goals and course correct and recalibrate and make sure you're on the right path to where you want to go, as I mentioned, we may find ourselves unconsciously ejected from the driver's seat of our lives, and yeah, and we might just feel it's not a stagnant feeling. It's more just like this peaceful experience of like, okay, well, now I need to course correct, because every day we're getting um, intel, information, opportunities, everything coming in, and sometimes that calls for us to course correct and get clarity on our desires and start actively calling them in. And then on the other side of the spectrum, if we are too obsessed with our manifestations and moving forward, we forget to be present, obviously, because we're not in that present moment. We forget to slow down and actually enjoy the process of manifestation. And that's the reason I'm doing this episode, is because we're always so focused on the results of manifestation, but the process is actually so uplifting, so enjoyable, and just like I said, self empowerment 101. So it's really important to find that middle ground of consciously calling in your manifestations, but also slowing down and really enjoying your progress. Like I said, I've just spent the last few weeks just sitting back, folding my arms, putting them behind my head, kind of just that kind of energy, nodding my head, smiling a little bit like, yeah, yeah, I did this. Cool, cool. This has happened. This has come to fruition and I'm really fucking stoked about it. So, yeah, I just wanted to start the episode with really checking in with yourself, that self inquiry every day, and really acknowledging where you are on that bandwidth. Am I too do I need to put myself back in the driver's seat? Obviously, there's nothing wrong with being in the present moment. There's nothing wrong with gratitude, but because we have so much intel and frequencies and opportunities and discussions and everything coming in every day, it's so important to click back into that conscious, active manifestation process to course correct. Because if you're just lulling along in the river, you might go down a different stream that you weren't intentionally trying to go down. So, yeah, just having that self-inquiry, just in a really light-hearted way, checking in with yourself and course correcting when you need. So, yeah. Um, and yeah, so I've also just wanted to mention that if you're already familiar with the manifestation process, you are actually already living your current reality is one that you once dreamed of. Because, yeah, once you are familiar with the manifestation process, you can you have, I hope, if you're familiar with it, I hope that you've actively started calling in your desires and changes and relationships that you want and locations that you want to live in and opportunities and money and love and all of that you want to call in. So that's another reason why I wanted to mention that self-inquiry every day with your manifestation process. What part of the process are you in? Are you soaking it up? Are you relaxing? Are you enjoying the end of the cycle? Or do you need to jump back in the driver's seat and sit down, do some journaling, or go for a nature walk and get some clarity on what you want to call in? So, if you're already familiar with the manifestation process, you are actually living a current reality that you once dreamed of. Like, that is such an incredible thing. Such an incredible thing. Like, such a reminder that we are in the driver's seat of our lives. And it's really cool. I love reading back through old journals or workbooks or whatever kind of manifestation process I was using, say a year ago or 2 years ago, because there's many different ways to consciously and actively manifest. Um, it's so cool to look back at a journal and read what you've written down a year ago, which at the time you were writing it, you were probably like, oh my God, this is so far out of my league. What the hell? And that's what the manifestation process is. It's stepping into that self worth, that power, pushing through fear, working on your self image, working on your emotional intelligence, and on all of that. And then a year later, you're actually living that reality, and you read back in that book. And at the time, it was so far out of your league, and then you read it and it's so humbling. You're like, "Oh my God, I did that. I did that." Like, literally, it's so uncanny. It's like word for word, sometimes you're living that reality. But it's really cool to go back and look at your journals, because when you are truly in alignment with the manifestation process and understand it deeply, the results become such a small part of the whole process, because you become so obsessed with the process. It's so enjoyable. So that's why it's funny when you look back in your journals and you see your results and you're like, oh my God, it actually all happened. But you're so caught up in the beautiful energetic frequency of your desires, of your potential, of your sense of power and love, that when the results come, they just kind of like naturally integrate into your life. And sometimes you don't even realize that you achieved, like ticked off all of those goals and desires and manifestations. So, yeah, that's basically just what I've been doing in the past few weeks, is just really sitting back, like I said, nodding my head with a cheeky smile on my face, like, yeah, I did it. I've done it. I can take a break. I can fill up my cup again. I can slow down and be present. And then, as I mentioned, this week I had this surge of energy and this inkling from the universe. Hey, Zoz, it's time to sit down, pen to paper, get clarity on the next few things that you're calling in. So, yeah, I just wanted to record this episode today because I obviously, like I said, I took a back seat on the active manifestation process. And then this week I've clicked back into the driver's seat. And oh my God, it's just such a beautiful, incredible process. And as I mentioned, like, we are so obsessed with the results that we get from manifestation. And if you're focusing on the results rather than the manifestation process, I'm telling you now you're doing it wrong. I really can tell you now you've absolutely are doing it wrong, because the manifestation process is how you get the results, and it's just the most juicy, enjoyable, incredible part. So, I've manifested so many beautiful things into my life. I've single handedly created my reality today, and I'll create the next reality and the next reality and the next reality, because I love this process and I feel like I've got it down pat. However, the results aren't just what I celebrate, it's the actual process of manifestation that I absolutely adore, hence this episode. To me, there's no better way to spend your time. It's not about spending your entire day trying to manifest things. It only takes a small portion of your day, but every day. And then it's this energetic, emotional maintenance program throughout the day. Because if you are familiar with the manifestation process, energy comes before matter. So our energy is our emotional state of being. So I mentioned in the previous episode, developing our emotional intelligence is so important for navigating the hard times, but developing your emotional intelligence is also so important for bringing in more frequently and more intensely the good in your life. So your active manifestation process is only a small portion of your day. And then, as I mentioned, it's just this energetic maintenance program throughout your day, checking in on how you feel, recalibrating back to the energy of your desire, and then going back to your present moment. So, I say there's no better way to spend your time, but I'm not implying you spend all of your time doing it, because that's just not how it works. So, yeah, it's just like I keep saying, guys, it's self-empowerment 101. Every time you sit down, and like I mentioned, the manifestation process is different for anyone and everyone, but say you're sitting down and journaling out your the things that you're calling in, it's just so uplifting. It's so incredibly uplifting, and it's a really beautiful way to take you out of the present moment. So just say you're you're wanting to call in a new job, but you're in a current job where a manager is just not respecting your time, or you've got too much on your plate, or the actual content of the work just doesn't light you up anymore. Going back to that manifestation process, even for a few minutes every day, is just that scapegoat from your current reality, because energy comes before matter. So you need to be embodying the energy of that new job. How does that new job feel? I feel satisfied. I feel fulfilled. I feel successful. I feel safe. I feel abundant, etc. And that is why the conscious manifestation process is so exciting, because it can really take you out of that present moment so quickly. So, just say you get triggered by something your boss says to you, use those moments in that the present moments of that the thing that you don't want, the thing that you're calling the change that you're calling in, use that as a reminder to click back into your energetic maintenance program that is involved in your manifestation of, okay, how do I feel right now? I feel quite anxious, I feel fearful, I feel stressed. Okay, take a few deep breaths while you're sitting at your desk. You can do this wherever you are, and bring yourself back to the energy of your wish fulfilled, the energy of your desire, the energy of that future, that manifestation that you're calling in. And you can so quickly and easily, with some practice, obviously, shift yourself into the energy of your desire. So, no matter if you're still sitting at that shitty little cubicle at your desk with the manager screaming at you, you can still hold the energy of your desire through that energetic maintenance program, and that is developing your emotional intelligence. So yeah, it's like I said, I've single-handedly created my reality, but it's actually the manifestation process that I'm obsessed with because it's just a surefire way to resonate and exude those beautiful, wonderful, positive feelings that are in alignment with the desires that you're calling in. So I just want to remind everyone that your ability to manifest is available to everyone. And you're actually, whether you like it or not, manifesting your current reality. So, an empowered individual is actively utilizing this manifestation process and this relationship and this interaction with the environment, in the environment and the universe to their advantage. Whereas an unconscious person, and it was person in their victimhood mentality, which is something I cover, I think, in episode 3, is they're actually still manifesting, but they're just not using the manifestation process to their advantage. They are not in a place of empowerment, and they are just getting a shitty indication of their interaction with life. So, just say an unempowered person is, yeah, they, like I said, they're still manifesting their reality. But if they are in an internal vibration of a state of, like, say, stress or fear or anxiety or self loathing, they are manifesting and receiving situations and a reality that are in alignment with that internal vibration. So I just wanted to remind everyone that whether you like it or not, we are consciously or unconsciously interacting with our environment. And it takes an empowered person to utilize this manifestation process to their advantage. So, yeah, which is the really exciting part, because this energy and this process and this relationship with the environment and universe is available to us at all times. It's just whether you want to jump in the driver's seat and use it to your advantage, basically. So basically, the manifestation process is, I was going to look up a definition before I said this, before I started this episode, but I was like, nah, I'm just going to let it roll off the tongue and just see where it comes, because, sometimes it doesn't need to be put into a sentence. It's just like this knowing, you know? But basically, let me just see what comes up. Manifestation is intentional goal setting paired with the development of your emotional intelligence with a sprinkle of universal magic. There we go. Um, and yeah, as I mentioned, the manifestation process, like I said, I broke it down into kind of basically 3 parts. The intentional goal setting is that process of you um, getting clarity on what you want, and it helps you strengthen your focus. So that's another reason why I love the manifestation process, because we live in such an overstimulating society and environment that just does not grant us many easy opportunities to focus. So the manifestation process is one of those opportunities to help us focus. So that's where the intentional goal setting comes in. It's you actively sitting down, doing some soul searching. It actually, sorry, it doesn't even have to be sitting down. You can go for a beach walk or something like that and start thinking, start soul searching. Like, guys, when was the last time you went soul searching about where you are in your life and where you want to be? It's such a beautiful, uplifting, empowering process. So that's part 1 of manifestation, is the intentional goal setting. It's to create clarity and to create focus. And even before your manifestation comes, I guarantee you're going to get such an upgrade to your internal vibration just by carving out time to focus and get clarity. The second part I said about manifestation was the development of our emotional intelligence. And that kind of comes back to the previous thing I was talking about, of having that energetic maintenance program throughout your day. So you set your goals and you're like, I want this car and I want this partner and and it doesn't even have to be objects, guys. It can just be, I want an increased sense of self love, or I want a beautiful community where I feel like I belong. Like, they don't have to be material things. They can be spiritual things. They can be holistic things and personal development things. Just like, I just want a better relationship with myself, or I just want more connection to my emotions, etc. So the intentional goal setting process is you just getting clarity on that. And then we've got the development of our emotional intelligence. So that energetic maintenance program throughout your day, because you can write out what you want on a piece of paper or speak to the universe about what you want. But if you are not aligning with the emotion and the energy of that desire, it will just not come to you. And like I said, that's why the energetic maintenance program is so amazing, because you can be sitting at your desk in that current reality that you don't want, but still, no one can control, unless you give them that power, no one can control your internal vibration. So you could be sitting there at your desk in a horrible cubicle in a job that you don't want, with the biggest smile on your face, because you have developed your emotional intelligence enough to sit there and hold the energy of your desire, hold that energy of success and freedom and fulfillment and satisfaction that will eventually become your reality once you keep holding that energetic space for that. It's like this. It's like hold that. Sorry, just trying to start 50 sentences in one. Let me start again. Developing your emotional intelligence is like creating this beacon, this location beacon out in the universe for your desires to find you, because the universe is just a mirror for your internal vibration. So you can write on a piece of paper all you want, your desires, but if you are not developing your emotional intelligence, then it's like the universe can't, that your desires and the universe can't mirror to you your intentions and your desires, because the universe works on frequencies, and the way that our body and our interaction with life responds to frequencies is our emotional state of being. That is our control, and that is our power, and that is how we emit frequencies, is through our emotions. So that is why the energetic development, your energetic development, emotional intelligence development, is so important, because it's like your location beacon out in the universe, and you need to stay in that frequency and that energy of your desire for as long as you can every single day, not just to get the results, guys, just because it feels good. Because the manifestation process just feels nice. Like, why wouldn't you want to stay in the energy of fulfillment or success, or satisfaction? Like, say I'm speaking about getting a job. Why don't you want to stay in the frequency of love for as long as you can, and gratitude and excitement and all of that? So that is your energy. That is your energy beacon, and that is how the universe mirrors back to you your internal vibration. So the manifestation process is, like I said, the intentional goal setting, so getting clarity, developing your emotional intelligence to create that location beacon for the universe to do everything behind the scenes, the 99% of the work behind the scenes, to mirror to you your internal vibration of love, joy, excitement, whatever it is, that whatever the energy of your desire is. And then, oh, well, that is kind of like the sprinkle of universal magic, I suppose. But I want to mention that because to allow that universal magic, and it's not magic, it's actually just laws, universal laws. And I can go into like the more sciencey part of it, if you want later. And it's something I do with my clients, which is really, really exciting, because it's just like so empowering to realize that we have this beautiful interaction with nature and with the universe. And to allow that universal magic and the laws and that interaction to come into place requires patience, trust, and consistent action from us. And like I've mentioned, the consistent action is that energetic maintenance program throughout your day, and getting clarity on what you want. And then from there, you just need to practice patience and practice trust that it will come to fruition. And it's just the most incredible experience. And I suppose I'm just kind of rambling. I did write an outline for this, but oh guys, it's just, I love this so much. And I hope this episode has resonated with you, because I personally felt like I'd struck gold when I discovered this, how to manifest and how to have an interaction with the universe, and how the fact that we have the power to create our reality. And I still to this day experience pure awe and a complete froth for this process, and the fact that we have a choice to show up and connect with this interaction with life every single day. So, yeah, I hope this has given you guys some excitement and a renewed sense of passion and appreciation for the manifestation process, because like I mentioned, we're manifesting whether you consciously or unconsciously like it. So why not step into that position of absolute power and consciously, actively, and positively manifest everything you want into your life? And like I said, the results are just 1% of the process. Once you start really deeply understanding and embodying the manifestation process, the results are literally 1%, because it's just such an enjoyable ride. Who doesn't want to get clarity on where they are in their life? Who doesn't want to actively stay in high vibrations and emotions every single day? And there is such a character building process that comes from patience and trust. And Oh, guys, when you step into that patience and trust with the universe, it is so magical. And the synchronicities and the connection and the opportunities and the pure magic that comes from the universe when you relax and trust is just so uplifting. So, for all of those reasons and more, that is why I love the manifestation process, guys. I hope this episode has resonated with you. I hope right after this episode's finished, you just want to sit down and actively jump back into that manifestation process because it's just one of the most exciting parts of life and empowering parts of life. So, yeah, I'll leave that episode here. Reach out to me if you want any help with your manifestation process. It's something I focus on a lot with my clients. And best of luck, and I'll chat to you on the next episode. Thanks.